Sponsored program paid for by Robin Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results. Welcome to Rochester Real Estate, featuring Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results, and Andy Brownell. Here's Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk, 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Good morning, everyone. Saturday morning, I'm Andy Brownell, and I'm with Robin Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results, for another one of our chats about real estate in the Rochester area and southeastern Minnesota. Good morning, Robin.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well. I'm super, in fact.
Good. Glad to hear that.
We are. It is actually January.
Almost a week in. I mean, here we are, January 6th. I'm looking out the window at green grass.
Yeah.
Makes me want to go out there and rake because there's a lot of dead leaves, but I won't.
And, regardless of the people predicting doom and gloom that, the other shoe will drop, the weather inevitably gets warmer in April, and April is that much closer.
Oh, my gosh. Was it you? Somebody posted something about only 60-something days until the sun sets at 7:30 at night. It just made my day.
That was one of my coworkers.
Loved
posted
it.
That. Yeah, that gave me a boost as well.
I'm like, woo! We all know how fast 60 days goes. Oh my gosh!
Here's another one for you. By the end of March, by early March, we're talking spring training baseball.
Yay!
So we're only about 60 days away from spring training.
Yay! And we still don't have any snow on the ground.
And we don't have any snow. Knock on wood.
Yes, exactly. Well, we know that isn't going to be, inevitable, but
Sure.
I mean, I've enjoyed it, every minute of it. It's affected my business. I will tell you that. Not only have people been more eager to get out looking at houses as the interest rates have dropped, but people are super excited that they can still just throw on a light jacket, not have to have on snow boots. We can actually walk around the yard, see the landscaping. Everything's not buried in snow and ice. We're not freezing our bums off. And it's just easier. It's just easier to look at properties in January with this crazy weather that we're having.
You can even see the roof.
Yeah, you could even see the health of the roof. And, we had, I talked to one of the bankers yesterday, and she told me that I said, I'm so excited. I had somebody lock in at 6.5. She goes, well, today we're looking at 6, and that was yesterday. So, it's pretty exciting.
So that is more than a point and a half below the peak.
Okay, so that being said, I have this little article that I think would make a few people go, wow. So we just said 60 days goes fast. All right. So October wasn't that long ago.
No, it wasn't.
October was when we had the highest interest rate of all. So the same house that somebody bought in October, how I said, don't worry about the rates, buy it now. You can always refinance. Okay. Those same people, if they refinanced today, they would drop $400 off their mortgage. Okay? So
that's incredible.
If somebody bought that same house that guy bought back in October for the same price, because of the difference in the interest rate, we're talking $400 less per month than just back in October. So that's what people are getting excited about. They're like, okay, let's get back out there. But I've said it and I'll say it again. Don't wait. Get out there now before the rest of the, stampede begins, right? Before the rest of the people come into the market. Get out there and have a choice in which house you pick and maybe even negotiate a deal, because pretty soon those days are going to be in the past.
Think about that person in October who bought that house at when the rates were peaked and there were, the market wasn't all that active.
Right.
They were able to take their time to find the home they wanted. And as you pointed out, they probably were able to negotiate a bit with the seller.
And they probably had an inspection, and they probably had the seller take care of anything that came up on the inspection. all the stress of the deal was gone, and now they made that extra payment for a few months. And
90 days.
They might not refinance yet. They might wait for it to go down a little more. But bottom line is they're definitely going to come out money ahead by having bought when they bought.
Yeah, they're in a good place.
Exactly.
Well, there you go. Listen next time, right?
Yeah, listen, doggone it. Like my mom now. Just listen to me. I know what I'm talking about.
I told you so.
You know nothing. I know everything. Oh, boy.
Well,
why, Mom? Because I said so.
It is pretty incredible the savings are that much.
Yeah.
For
no,
what is a relatively modest drop.
I think when we put real numbers to things, it does put it in a better perspective. Because I think people think, oh, the interest rates are dropping, but what does that really mean to me? Well, that's quite a bit, because $400 a month, pays for something else, right? Pays for your car payment, or pays for your day. I don't know, not daycare. That's more expensive, but whatever. It pays for something else. So it does make a big difference. And that's why I'm so excited. I'm just so excited because they're just going to continue to drop, and those payments are going to continue to go down. And, life is good. I don't know, but I filled up my car this morning for $2.69 a gallon.
Where?
Wabasha.
Okay.
Quick trip, $2.69.
Well,
and I think the E88 or whatever they call that was $2.59. So yeah, great prices. Super excited.
The advantage of small town living.
Exactly.
Cheaper gas prices.
But that's not normal. I mean, honestly, it used to be that if everybody would wait until they got to Winona or Rochester because there was more competition, the prices were less, and so you could get it for less. But I think those, especially like Quick Trip, realizes the gas is a small portion of what people spend. So if they're going to come in and get their lunch or their breakfast or their Diet Coke or whatever they're going to get, we might as well get it here. So yeah, our prices pretty much since the pandemic have been cheaper here than they are out of town. So
interesting.
I'm good. Yeah, I don't know what the reasoning is behind it, but it works for me.
So now that go ahead.
Definitely housing prices are less here, for sure. Houses are cheap. There's, and I mean, that makes sense, because if you think about like the median income, per household in Wabasha versus Rochester, there's quite a discrepancy. And there's not a lot of high paying jobs here. And there's a lot of, more blue collar work and, just simpler, simpler. So if you don't make as much, you can't spend as much. So things have to be more affordable. So our houses are more affordable for sure. I've got a nice house on the market for $239,000. It's a big 2-story with 3 bedrooms upstairs that are all huge, and then 1 more bedroom on the main. I don't know, but you can't really find that everywhere.
No. And as you point out, I mean, it's not a bad commute. If you compare it to places like Chicago or even the Twin Cities. People driving across from St. Louis Park to St. Paul, they're driving 40 minutes.
Exactly. To go 15 miles. Yeah. And I drive 42 miles in 45 minutes. It's like not a problem.
Well, I think there's a lot of evidence that a lot of people are recognizing that, because I see the smaller towns around Rochester with a lot of new construction taking place.
Yeah. Well, again, because it's more affordable for the builders to come in, and
sure,
even things at the level of what the city charges for permitting and those, initial costs before they even start are so much better. But I think it's because as small towns, and I can speak to this really because I sit as the chair of the Wabasha Housing Committee, we need people to come. So we invite builders and developers to come. So we definitely want to make it desirable for them to come over here and build, because we have a lot of people that work in Wabasha at the hospital, at the school, for the city, for even that can't live in Wabasha because they couldn't find adequate housing. So they're driving in from Wisconsin or from Lake City or from Plainview or Winona or whatever. But So we need housing, we need people, and we're on it.
It seems universal. You guys, didn't you just receive a big state chunk of money from the state?
We did. That is part of what we've been working on at the Port Authority. Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, good things are happening in the real estate world all around.
Why don't we take a quick break, Robin?
Okay.
We'll be back in a moment. Robin Gwaltney with Gwaltney Group-RE results on News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM. Welcome back to Rochester. Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group-RE results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Welcome back. Robin Gwaltney with Gwaltney Group-RE results, our Saturday visit on News Talk 1340, KROC AM and at 96.9 FM. Robin, we're past the holidays. Have you things picking up ahead of steam?
Yeah, picking up ahead of steam. And I think ahead of steam both because of the interest rate, but I do think the weather has played a part in that. I really do. But I mean, I'm reading articles and headlines like New Year's fireworks as mortgage rates stabilize, meaning everything's starting to take off, right from the beginning of the year, or falling mortgage rates have sparked home buyer stampede. I mean, people are definitely getting excited. I'll give you some forecasts that really, if there's any realtors listening, they'll be really happy to hear this. Basically, Lawrence Yun, who you hear me quote a lot because I have a lot of respect for him. He's the chief economist for the National Association of Realtors and a really bright guy because I follow him forward and then I go back and I just study how accurate his predictions have been, which really is the reason I have so much respect for him. But he is predicting that he's forecasting a jump of around 13% in existing home sales compared to 2023.
Wow.
Yeah. So and I think he is probably one of the more bullish predictions out there. But I've seen 12.1, I've seen 12.5, I've seen as low as 8. But the bottom line is he's who I really traditionally follow very loyally. So I'm excited. I'm excited that we're going to have a really great year. As you know, Gwaltney Group picked up a couple of really awesome new agents in 2023. And I'm so excited to see what kind of 2024 they have. And our other great agents as well. But yeah, I am as fired up as I've been about real estate in a while. Okay. So I love the synergy that we have at the Gwaltney Group. I went into the office yesterday. Now here it is, a Friday. It's, the week after the holiday. It's, January. And I walked in and immediately I just got this great big smile on my face because we had like 10 agents in there all sitting around our big conference room table with their laptops up, just buzzing across the table back and forth about, you got any new listings coming? What do you got? I got a buyer looking for this. I was like, oh my God. They're like, look at the smile on your face. I'm like, you guys have no idea what this does for me. So, I'm embracing it because I think we're off to a great start of a great year. And we've had so many great years, right? And 2023 was definitely slower than 2022. 2022 was slower than 2021, but 2021 was so much busier than 20 or 19. So if you look at real estate, just since we've been doing this radio show, it's been nothing but a great real estate market. Great. And properties continue to increase in value. I laugh because, my son will say to me, geez, Mom, houses were so cheap when you were my age. You should have bought a bunch. Yeah, because I had so much extra money then. It's like, people have been saying that for 100 years and they're going to say it for the next 100 years because moving forward, things only get more and more expensive, right? So I just said, take your own advice and start buying them. I've told him since the day he started real estate, buy a house here. Just keep buying them. So it's a great investment. I'll hold it up to any other investment. And I know that there are investors that will push people towards other things, and that's great. And I think people need to do what they're comfortable with. But I know for one, our broker owner, John Colopy, who owns RE/MAX Results, biggest, RE/MAX franchisee in the country, has only got his portfolio is real estate because he feels like he'd be pretty hypocritical if that's not what he invested in. He does pretty darn well for himself. So real estate is a solid investment. Best part about it is, I've said over and over and over, it's the bank account we can live in, right?
Absolutely.
So clearly you're not going to live in 5 houses or 6 houses, but you can put renters in them and you can make good money. So you're in control. I like that, right?
And the other part about it, the safety of the investment, is that if you're in an economic situation where home values were actually decreasing,
yeah,
those other instruments that you might be investing in are also tanking.
Correct.
So they're not safe in any aspect at all. In the real estate, you're still using what you invested in.
Exactly.
Until it recovers, and it usually recovers relatively quickly. I remember my brother during the big housing crisis of '08.
Right.
He had just purchased a home 6 months before, so they ended up paying top dollar, and they took it on the chin. But within 5 years, they had regained everything, and they were back. It was less than 5 years. I think it was 3 years.
And if they're still in that house now, they're in a very good place.
It was finally sold 2 years ago, and for a healthy profit.
Yes. I mean, I've been now doing this for 23 years, and it gives me such a thrill to sell a house to a young family, and then 4, 5, 6 years later, sell it for them and see the money they make. It's like, you guys, this is so amazing. Not only has this house, been your home, you've raised your family, you've started to make memories, and now you've got this great big chunk of money so that you can relocate across the country where you're headed, or you can buy a bigger house, or whatever it is you're going to do. But I love, so that part of me, that's wearing my financial investor hat, right? So, I mean, there's so many different aspects to our job as realtors. It's like helping people find a house that they're going to be comfortable in and feel safe in and have all the things that they need, for their dog or their kids or whatever. And then making sure that they're making a solid investment so that when it's time to leave, they get their money back and then some. And then, just the joy of watching these families grow and watching their wealth grow. And, when you sell somebody a house for the 3rd or 4th time, it's like, oh my God, I feel like such a valued, important part of their life. Like you have your banker and you have your attorney and you have your doctor. And, for those people that build that relationship, you have your realtor, but it's so much more than that. I don't know if you saw my post, but on New Year's Day, I was at the most amazing New Year's party. And those people they just came into an open house and they were clients, 21 years ago. And we've built such a great friendship that every year on New Year's Day, I'm at their New Year's Day party.
Oh, nice.
It's like, I love the relationships that I build. I just absolutely love it. And I love helping people build their wealth, and I love helping people find what they need for their family. So it is such a satisfying job, even in the toughest of markets. So I'm looking forward to a year that's supposed to be, a brighter outlook and more sales and less interest and, more affordable rates, all those things. So I'm just on top of the world right now. Starting the year out on the right note.
It's off to a good start. We'll take a quick break.
Off to a good start. Okay.
We'll be back in just a moment with more with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results here at News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM. Welcome back to Rochester. Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Good morning. Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results. Means it's Saturday morning. We're talking about the Rochester real estate situation across southeastern Minnesota. And Robin, I was thinking about your job that when you sell or you help the first-time home buyer get that home, and they have that big smile on their face, which is inevitable. You also get to get that big smile when you help them sell that home too.
Exactly.
And you get it both directions. That's awesome.
And I love the, staying connected in between, right? So I tell people, don't even just think of me as buying and selling. Think of me as your house answers, right? So, oh my gosh, Robin, we've got this crazy, issue going on. Who would we call about this? I probably know. I've probably had somebody else that's had a similar issue. Or who would you recommend we want to paint some walls? Or we've decided to put an addition on. Do you know anybody who does that? Do you know anybody who puts on a deck? I know people because we're, this is what we do. We're all in the same industry. So I'm able to send people trustworthy subs and trustworthy contractors. And I love that. I love that I can help people. Then they'll be like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for sending Mike over. He took care of my plumbing and he was great. And, he came right away or whatever it is. So I love that, being able to help them throughout the home buying or the home ownership process, right? So that's what I always say. It doesn't end here. It doesn't end at the closing table. If you decide you want to say, hey, we might want to finish our basement and we got some quotes and this is how much it's going to cost. Is that a good decision in this neighborhood, or are we pricing ourselves out of the neighborhood? Are we better off to leave it unfinished? Should we spend this much or should we cut back and do only this? And I get those kind of calls all the time and I love it. And so I always go over it. And then it's a good excuse to see those clients and keep in touch. So I always really emphasize that our relationship doesn't end at the closing table by any means. By any means. So that's where the relationship begins.
So I'm at this point in the show, I'm going to ask you, like I usually do, do you have any new listings?
Well, I'm going to actually, some of them are new, some of them are not, but I'd like to just run through a lot of them just to give them a little shout out. Okay?
Yeah.
So I've got one over at 1234 7th Avenue Southeast. It's a little 2-bed, 1-bath, very small, 770 square foot, has a 1-car garage, but it also is only $164,900.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Affordable housing.
Affordable housing. We've got one 621.
I love the address too. Sorry.
I know, right? Can't forget it. 621 First Ave Northeast in Byron. This one's a typical split level house, 4 beds, 2 baths, 1,443 square feet, a 2-car garage, and it's $249,900, built in 1979. We have out in Preston at 1175 Highway 52 North. We've got a 3-bed, 3-bath, 2,432 square foot house. Well, somebody's going to love this. It has a 5-car garage and it's on an acre lot and it is $389,900.
Very nice.
Yep. And then we've got one at, let's see here. 3916 3rd Street Northwest, so right next to the famous sledding hill. All right, and this one is 5 beds and 2 baths. It's a ranch that was built back in the 50s, 1958, and it is $329,900.
I know that house.
You know that house? Yes, you do, because you know the owner. 3611 85th Street Northwest. Number 60 is a, what do you call that? Mobile home that's been, set up to sell, which is great. And we have financing, which is great. And it's $79,900 and it's brand new and it's beautiful. And we've got 406 2nd Street Northeast in Dodge Center, which is a really unique property. It's 6 acres. It's got a house on it, but then it's got land for who knows what you might want to do. It's right across the street from McNeely. It's a great location. 3 beds, 1 bath in the house, and then all that land to do with whatever maybe it's a future neighborhood, maybe it's a future business, maybe it's expansion, I don't know. But that's $850,000. I've got a nice condo in walkable downtown Rochester. Those are hard to come by. And no, it's not in the building that's had all of the news on it. This one is in the 5 Oaks building, 317 Avenue. And it's on the 3rd floor in the Five Oaks building, and it's 2 beds and 2 baths. It's a 1,200 square foot, and it's $249,900. So a very nice price and a very nice building.
Nice location. Very nice.
Very nice location, yes. 5287 Supala Court is a brand new townhome, 3 beds, 3 baths, 2,048 square feet. It's an end corner unit with a 2-car garage, and that is $379,900. Now we'll jump back over to Wabash. I already talked to you about the 2-story for $239,000. I've got one out on the Prairie. That's 67231 155th Avenue. Just a beautiful home. The owners, it's been in the family a long time. It belonged to their aunt and uncle. They built it new in 81, and then this couple bought it, and they've redone a lot of the house, redone the bathrooms and the kitchen and the exterior. Anyway, it's 5 beds, 5 baths. It's on the backwaters. It's got 1.5 acres, and that one is at $764,900. And I've got a bunch of lots, and more lots. So for those people who are thinking, okay, I'm going to finally build, I've got lots of lots out in Sally Hill. I've got the beautiful lots out in Woodland Valley. I've got some lots in Byron. So if you're wondering about lots, give me a call and I can send you in the right direction. But yeah, that's what I have. I've got some new listings that are going to be coming on that I'm excited about. But per the rules, I can't talk about them until they're listed. So I can talk about them as they come listed. So hopefully I'll have some new things each week. And if you're out there contemplating whether it's a good time to sell, please call me because I would love to add your listing to my repertoire.
Absolutely. As you pointed out, it's a great time to look into getting into the market.
Yes, it is.
And if somebody is thinking along those lines or has any sort of question about their home or their situation, how can they get a hold of you, Robin?
Yeah, honestly, anything real estate related at all, I welcome your phone call. You're never a nuisance. It's never a bother. I mean, let's face it. If it rings and I can't answer it, I won't. But if I can, I will. And if I don't, I will call you back. So my phone number is 507-259-4926. And if you'd like to learn more about me or my team, I encourage you to visit our website at GwaltneyGroup.com.
Awesome. You enjoy the weekend, and we'll chat again next week. Robin, thank you.
Sounds great. Have a good week.
All right. Robin Gwaltney with Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results, here at News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.